Have you ever noticed that nothing in nature waits? The seasons don't wait. The river doesn't wait. The sun doesn't stop rising until you're ready. Only man waits. He waits for tomorrow, for the right time, for someone else to make the first move. While he waits, his life quietly slips away. The question is not whether change will come. The question is, will it come from within you or without you? Everything around you moves by law and rhythm. Seasons, tides, the steady turning of night into day, and yet we pretend that our lives are exempt from that same relentless course. We promise ourselves that one day we will change, one day we will start, one day we will be brave. Those one days pile up like empty calendars until suddenly the years are gone and the courage we required has grown cold. Waiting for change never works because waiting is passive. Change demands direction. It is easy to confuse motion with progress. A man may be busy each hour of the day, occupied, hurried, occupied with 1,000 small tasks, and still arrive at the end with nothing to show but fatigue. Nature teaches us otherwise. The river does not expend its force aimlessly. It carves a channel because it is moving with purpose. So must we. There are practical reasons why waiting fails. Conditions never line up perfectly. Opportunities are perishable. The right moment you imagine is often the very moment that slips away while you debate whether you are ready. Then there is the inner tax of postponement. Every delay erodes courage, dulls resolve, and makes the next small step harder. Habit compounds, both the habit of action and the habit of delay. Which one will you feed? A farmer with 2 fields. In spring, he says, "Someday I'll plant the second field." The rains come, the seasons turn, and when harvest arrives, the planted field feeds a family. The idle field overgrows with weeds. The farmer didn't lack skill or desire. He lacked the moment he allowed himself to begin. That is the bitter arithmetic of waiting. What we don't plant now, we cannot harvest later. There is also the tender human cost to delay. We put off conversations that matter. We keep "I love you" and "I'm proud of you" for an imagined tomorrow. We imagine reconciliation will wait, but relationships do not carry guarantees. Voices quiet, hearts harden, lives move on. It is a grief beyond calculation to find at a bedside or a grave that the someday we promised was the very thing that was never said. Waiting steals not only opportunity but affection and meaning. Waiting for change to come from without is a surrender of power. It abdicates the only true control we possess, the choice to act here and now. Change that comes from without is often random, fleeting, or incomplete. Change that begins within is steady, deliberate, and becomes the source of everything that follows. When a man decides in his heart to change his day, his habits, his direction, the world begins to rearrange around that choice. Momentum gathers, doors open, not because fate conspired, but because focused action calls forth response. So why does waiting feel safe? Because action is uncertain, but uncertainty is the forge of growth. Better to step forward with imperfect courage than to stand anchored in perfect hesitation. The sun will not wait for your courage to warm. The river will not pause for your resolve. Only action makes a day into day one. I considered this carefully before writing. The truth is plain, and it asks for a modest vow. Begin where you stand. Own your change. Choose today as your laboratory, not an excuse. If you like, I will now move into the main body and unfold how to take ownership of your success, the mindset shift that turns intention into result, why personal responsibility is the first step to freedom, practical ways to stop procrastination, and how to unlock your potential by starting where you are. How to take ownership of your success journey. Every life is a journey, whether we recognize it or not. The question is, who is steering the ship? Too many drift as passengers, waiting for the winds of chance or the kindness of others to decide their course. They complain when the storms come, forgetting they left the wheel unmanned. Ownership begins the moment a man places his hands on that wheel and says, "This is my voyage. The outcome is mine to direct." Taking ownership of your success journey is not about arrogance. It is about responsibility. It is the understanding that the life you live tomorrow will be the direct harvest of the seeds you plant today. If the harvest is poor, no excuses will change it. Blaming the soil, the weather, or the market will not fill the barns. Only one question matters. Did you plant with diligence? Did you tend with care? Did you act when it was time to act? The greatest trap in life is believing someone else will rescue you, an employer, a government, a family member, or even luck itself. But the truth is this: no one can live your life for you. They may walk beside you, but they cannot walk in your place. The road is yours alone. Ownership means you no longer point to circumstances as the author of your future. You decide, I will be the author. I will be the cause, not merely the effect. When a man accepts this truth, something remarkable happens. Complaints vanish. Excuses shrivel. He begins to see that every choice carries power, that every small effort tilts the scale of his destiny. He stops waiting for inspiration and learns the nobler skill of discipline. Because ownership is not about feeling ready, it is about being willing. Ask yourself, if my life were a company, who is the chief executive? If it fails to grow, whose fault is it? If it succeeds beyond measure, whose credit is it? The answer is always the same. Ownership is freedom because it places destiny back into your own hands. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, the world begins to assist you. Circumstances seem to bend, opportunities appear, helpers emerge. Why? Because clarity attracts direction. A ship with no course catches no favorable wind, but one with its sails raised and pointed forward will find the ocean itself becomes an ally. Taking ownership is the first bold step on the journey of success. Without it, the journey never truly begins. With it, you transform from passenger to captain, from dreamer to doer. And once a man begins steering with intention, the possibilities stretch wider than he ever imagined. The mindset shift that turns intentions into results. Every man and woman carries intentions. They say, I want to do better. I want to improve. I want to change my life. These are noble beginnings, but intentions alone are like an unlit lamp. It has the structure, it has the design, but without fire it gives no light. The difference between those who only intend and those who achieve lies in one simple truth. They have made the shift from wishing to working, from hoping to doing. That shift begins in the mind. A man who intends says, I'll try when the time is right. A man who achieves says, I will begin and I will adjust as I go. The achiever understands that clarity comes through action. He knows that no amount of planning or wishing can replace the lessons learned by stepping forward. Think of a seed. To hold it in your hand and say, someday this will become a tree, is intention. But to plant it, to water it, to guard it from weeds, that is transformation. It is not the idea of planting that makes the tree grow, but the act itself. In the same way, the mind that treats every intention as a command to act will soon see results others only dream of. Stop asking, what do I want? And begin asking, what will I do today? Wanting is endless. It will never run out of desires. But doing, even in small measures, begins to create momentum. The man who takes one step daily will, in a year, be miles ahead of the one who spent the same year merely wishing. This mindset also demands courage. It is far easier to live in the comfort of intentions, where everything is possible and nothing is tested. But when you commit to results, you expose yourself to failure. You also open the door to success. And that is the secret. The only way to discover your true strength is to act in spite of uncertainty. The achiever lives by a quiet but powerful rule. I will not confuse movement of the lips with movement of the hands. I will measure progress not by words, but by deeds. That is the mindset that turns a life of intentions into a life of results. Why personal responsibility is the first step to freedom. The moment a man takes full responsibility for his life, he becomes free. Until then, he is a prisoner, blaming circumstances, pointing to fate, waiting for someone else to make things better. No one is coming to rescue you. The day you accept that your life is entirely in your hands is the day you step into real freedom. Why? Because when you believe others are in control, you hand them the keys to your future. You become a victim of the economy, of luck, of upbringing, of the opinions of others. But the man who says, I am responsible, takes those keys back. He may not control every event, but he controls his response, and in that response lies his destiny. Think of the captain of a ship. Storms will come, winds will shift, but the captain does not curse the sea, nor does he hand the wheel to a passerby. He accepts the ocean for what it is, and he steers with what he has. Responsibility does not remove difficulty, but it gives direction, and direction gives freedom. So many live chained to excuses. I was born poor. I had no support. I tried once and failed. These chains are not locked by others. They are locked by the man himself. Break them by declaring, "My life will be what I decide it to be." Once you see yourself as the cause, you can also see yourself as the solution. Responsibility is not a burden. It is a gift. It means your life is not left to chance. It means the power to change rests in your own hands. The instant you stop waiting for others to carry you, you discover the strength in your own legs. And with that strength, you can walk any path you choose. Freedom begins where excuses end, and it always begins with you. Practical ways to stop procrastination and take action. Procrastination is the silent thief of life. It steals not in hours, but in years, quietly, invisibly, until one day a man looks back and wonders where his strength, his dreams, his opportunities have gone. To overcome it, you do not need more time. You need more resolve. Action, even small action, is the only cure. The first step is simple. Begin before you feel ready. If you wait until every condition is perfect, you will wait forever. The painter does not complete a masterpiece in one stroke. He begins with a single line, a rough outline. Likewise, whatever it is you've delayed, write the first word, make the first call, take the first step. A man in motion gathers momentum, but a man at rest gathers only excuses. Second, divide the mountain into stones. Many postpone because the task appears too great. They stare at the height of the peak and convince themselves it cannot be climbed. But no mountain is climbed in one leap. It is climbed by placing one foot, then another, upon the path. Break the great task into daily actions, and you will see progress where before you only saw impossibility. Third, set a time, not a wish. A wish says, "I'll do it someday." A decision says, "I'll do it at 8 o'clock." Fix a time and honor it as you would an appointment with someone important. Because it is important. It is an appointment with your future. A man who respects his word to himself builds self-trust, and self-trust is the foundation of achievement. Fourth, remove the invitation to delay. Many people fail not because they lack willpower, but because they leave temptation too near. The student who wishes to study cannot do so while his distractions sit in front of him. The man who wishes to work cannot succeed while his excuses lie within easy reach. Prepare your environment for action. Place what you need within sight. Remove what slows you down. Success is not built by willpower alone, but by arranging your life so that action becomes the natural path. And finally, remind yourself of the cost of waiting. Every hour lost is gone forever. Opportunity does not stand patiently at the door. It passes by silently, moving on to those who are ready. If you knew how costly delay truly was, you would begin at once. For what you postpone today, you pay for tomorrow, with interest. Procrastination is a habit of hesitation, but habits can be broken. Replace hesitation with movement. Replace delay with decision. The moment you act, even imperfectly, you weaken the chains of procrastination. The more you act, the stronger your will becomes. And soon, action itself becomes your new habit, the habit of progress. Do not wait until you are confident, for confidence grows from doing. Do not wait until you are certain, for certainty is the reward of action, not its beginning. Start now. The smallest step forward is worth infinitely more than the grandest intention left undone. Because in the end, the difference between a man who dreams and a man who achieves is simple. One waits, the other acts. How to unlock your potential by starting where you are. Most people overestimate tomorrow and underestimate today. They believe that greatness is waiting in some distant place, after the promotion, after the debts are gone, after the world finally feels right. Your potential does not live in tomorrow. It lives in the present. It is hidden in your hands, your mind, your choices, right where you stand. Think of an acorn. Within it lies the oak tree, tall and mighty, but it cannot grow if it waits for better soil, or gentler weather, or kinder conditions. It must begin in the soil it has, with the sunlight and rain it receives. And so it is with you. Your potential does not require perfect conditions. It requires action where you are, with what you have. One of the greatest lies men tell themselves is, "When I have more, I'll do more." When I know more, I'll begin. When I am stronger, then I'll act. But strength is built by lifting, not by waiting. Knowledge is gained by doing, not by delaying. Progress comes not from what you intend to do, but from what you begin to do. Unlocking your potential begins with asking yourself a simple question. What can I do with what I have right here, right now? If you have a skill, sharpen it. If you have time, use it. If you have energy, direct it. Waiting for tomorrow is like refusing to plant a seed until you own the whole field. Plant the seed in front of you. Work the ground beneath your feet. That is how fields are won. History is filled with men and women who began with little. Some had no money, no influence, no favorable circumstances. Yet they began anyway. They built fortunes from pennies, movements from whispers, legacies from simple acts. Their secret was not privilege, it was decision. They began with what they had, and what they had grew. The door to your potential will never open in the future. It opens only in the present. Every step you take now, no matter how small, expands the road ahead. Every act of courage, every disciplined choice, every refusal to wait, these are the keys that unlock what is within you. The man who says, "I cannot begin because I am not yet ready," will never begin, and so he will never be ready. The man who says, "I will begin, even imperfectly," finds that readiness comes with movement. Just as a muscle strengthens by being used, your potential strengthens by being lived. Start where you are, with the tools you have, with the strength you possess, however small it seems. For in starting, you will discover more tools, more strength, more opportunity than you ever imagined. Action multiplies resources. Effort unlocks ability. Movement reveals the path. The greatest tragedy is not the man who fails, but the man who never starts, because he was waiting for the perfect beginning. There is no perfect beginning. There is only this beginning, and in this beginning lies the seed of everything you can become. So take the step, start the work, begin today, because your potential is not buried in a far-off someday. It is waiting for you, right here, right now. Change does not wait for permission. Life does not pause until you are ready. The seasons will turn, the years will pass, and time will write its story, with or without you. But the pen is in your hand. You can let the days slip by in waiting, or you can rise today and say, "It begins with me." The man who decides becomes the man who transforms, and the man who transforms becomes the man who leaves a mark long after he is gone. Remember this, the world changes only when you do, and that change begins, not tomorrow, not someday, but now.